Welcome back. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of Washington quarters. While most of us may have a few of these quarters rattling around in our pockets, some Washington quarters are incredibly rare and can fetch astonishing prices in the market. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 ultra-rare Washington quarter coins that are worth big bucks today. Let's get started. First up, the 1966 Washington quarter without a mint mark. If you've ever stumbled upon one of these in your collection or seen one in circulation, you might just be holding onto a hidden gem. So let's explore why this particular coin is so valuable today and what makes it a must-have for collectors. To understand the value of the 1966 quarter, we first need a bit of history. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin features a portrait of Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. Initially, the quarter was a popular choice among the public, leading to its continued production. However, the design saw very few changes until 1999, when the U.S. Mint introduced the 50-state quarters program. This marked a significant era in American numismatics. Now, let's get back to the 1966 quarter. This year is particularly interesting because, unlike many other years, the U.S. Mint produced these quarters in significant quantities, but without the mint mark on coins struck in Philadelphia. Coins without a mint mark are generally minted in Philadelphia, and the 1966 version is a perfect example. While many collectors seek out coins with mint marks from Denver or San Francisco, the 1966 Philadelphia Mint quarter has become increasingly sought after in recent years, particularly in very good condition. But what does very good condition mean? Coins in this category typically show some wear but maintain their essential features. For a 1966 quarter, this means the details on Washington's portrait should still be visible, and there shouldn't be excessive scratches or discoloration. Now, let's talk about value. The market for coins can fluctuate based on demand and rarity, but the 1966 Washington quarter without a mint mark in very good condition can fetch anywhere from $220,000. Recently, we've seen some auctions where well-preserved coins have sold for surprising amounts. It's always good to keep an eye on current trends and auction sites to gauge the market. If you're looking to start or grow your collection, here are a few tips. First, always do your research on coin values before buying or selling. Websites like Numismatic News or CoinMarketCap can provide updated valuations and market trends. Second, consider joining a local coin club or online community. Connecting with other collectors can provide valuable insights and opportunities for trade. In summary, the 1966 Washington quarter without a mint mark is more than just pocket change. With its historical significance and increasing rarity, this coin holds both sentimental and monetary value for collectors. So, if you find one in your collection, consider having it appraised. Next up, the 1969 Washington quarter without a mint mark. This coin is not just another quarter, it's a rare find in extra fine condition, and it holds significant value in today's market. So, if you're a collector or just curious about coins, stick around as we explore what makes this quarter so special. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. This design, featuring a profile of Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, has become one of the most recognizable coins in American currency. In 1969, the United States Mint produced millions of these quarters. However, the absence of a mint mark indicating that it was produced in Philadelphia adds to its rarity. While quarters from this era were mass-produced, finding one in extra fine condition can be quite a challenge. Now, what do we mean by extra fine condition? Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 1 being poor and 70 being perfect. An extra fine coin will show some wear, but will still display sharp details. Specifically, you can expect to see slight wear on the highest points of the design, but the overall appearance remains quite attractive. So why is the 1969 Washington quarter without a mint mark so rare? It's all about survival rates. Coins that were circulated often wore down or were damaged, and many were simply lost. In extra fine condition, this coin is significantly less common, making it a prized possession for collectors. Now, let's get to the part you've been waiting for: the market value. As of now, a 1969 Washington quarter without a mint mark in extra fine condition can fetch anywhere from $390,000. However, prices can vary depending on the specific condition of the coin, current market trends, and where you sell it. Rare finds can sometimes exceed even $450,000 in the right circumstances, especially if you're dealing with an avid collector or at a high-end auction. The coin market can be quite volatile, so it's essential to keep an eye on trends. Factors that influence the value of coins include demand among collectors, rarity, and the overall economic climate. Staying updated with coin shows, auctions, and online marketplaces can help you get a better idea of what your coin might be worth. To wrap up, the 1969 Washington quarter without a mint mark in extra fine condition is not just a piece of currency, it's a piece of American history with a growing market value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a newbie, keep an eye out for this coin. It could be a valuable addition to your collection. Next up, the 1971 Washington quarter with a D mint mark. Not only is this coin a staple for collectors, but in extra fine condition, it holds significant value in today's market. So let's explore its background, rarity, and why you might want to keep an eye out for this particular quarter. First, let's take a step back and look at the history of the Washington quarter itself. Struck for the first time in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday, this coin has become a beloved part of American currency. The design features a left-facing profile of Washington on the obverse, created by sculptor John Flanagan, while the reverse showcases an eagle, a symbol of strength and freedom. The Washington quarter went through several design changes over the decades, but it has remained a constant in American coinage. By the time we reached 1971, the quarter had already seen a variety of modifications, with the D mint mark indicating it was produced at the Denver Mint. In fact, most of these coins circulated heavily, leading to significant wear and tear. So what does it mean when we say a coin is in extra fine condition? Extra fine condition, often abbreviated as EF or XF, refers to a coin that shows minor wear but retains much of its original detail. You might notice slight signs of usage, but the design elements are still clearly defined. Collectors, finding a 1971 D quarter in extra fine condition can be quite a treat. So, how much is this quarter worth today? Well, the value can vary significantly based on condition and demand. In average circulated condition, a 1971 D Washington quarter might only fetch you around $155,000. However, in extra fine condition, the value can soar to anywhere between $200,000 if you happen to find a specimen in uncirculated condition. It could be valued even higher, possibly reaching upwards of $300,000 or more. This price increase is primarily due to the demand from collectors looking to complete their sets, as well as the overall interest in vintage coins. As the years go by, more of these coins are being lost to time, making well-preserved specimens increasingly rare. If you're looking to add a 1971 D Washington quarter to your collection, here are some tips. First, always check coin shops, online auctions, and coin shows. When examining a coin, look for its luster and the detail of the design. The better the condition, the more valuable it will be. Also, consider investing in a coin holder or album to protect your coins from damage. And remember, grading is key. If you believe you have a valuable specimen, consider having it graded by a professional grading service to authenticate and potentially increase its value. In conclusion, the 1971 Washington quarter with a D mint mark is more than just a piece of currency, it's a collectible with a fascinating history and market potential. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this quarter can be a great addition to your collection. Next up, the 1972 Washington quarter dollar without a mint mark. If you're a coin enthusiast or just curious about what makes this coin so special, stick around. To understand why the 1972 Washington quarter is significant, let's take a quick look at its history. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin features a portrait of Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. Over the years, the design has seen some changes, but the essence of honoring Washington has remained. By 1972, the quarter had become a staple in American currency, but what makes the 1972 version without a mint mark so rare and valuable? Let's talk about mint marks. Mint marks indicate where a coin was produced. For the Washington quarter, you'll typically see the following mint marks: P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. For the 1972 quarter without a mint mark means it was produced in Philadelphia, and this particular version has garnered a reputation for being a rare find. So, what makes the 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark rare? In recent years, the demand for certain coins has surged, and this quarter is no exception. While millions of quarters were produced, only a small percentage are in very good condition, which is defined as having minimal wear and clear details. Coins in very good condition are typically sought after because they represent both historical significance and aesthetic value. As collectors and investors seek to expand their portfolios, they often turn to these types of coins, driving up demand and consequently value. Market value of the 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark can vary based on condition, grading, and market demand. In very good condition, you could expect this coin to be valued between $500,000. However, pristine examples, those graded as uncirculated, can fetch significantly higher prices, often ranging from $600,000. When it comes to care, avoid cleaning your coins too aggressively. A gentle wipe with a soft cloth is often all you need. If you're serious about preserving value, consider storing it in a protective coin holder. In conclusion, the 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark is not just a piece of currency, it's a slice of history that holds value for collectors and investors. If you're lucky enough to find one in very good condition, you may have a valuable addition to your collection. Next up, the 1977 Washington quarter without a mint mark. Could this rare coin bring you a small fortune? Stay tuned to find out. If you're a coin collector or just someone who's interested in what your spare change could be worth, you've probably heard about Washington quarters. But did you know that a 1977 Washington quarter without a mint mark in circulation condition might hold significant value in today's market? In this video, we'll break down what makes this coin unique, how to identify it, and how much it could be worth today. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The coin became an iconic piece of American currency, featuring Washington's profile on the obverse side and the American eagle on the reverse. Over the years, the design has seen slight variations, but for the most part, it's remained consistent. Now, let's talk about the 1977 Washington quarter specifically. The 1977 Washington quarter was produced in the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Coins produced at the Denver Mint have a small D mint mark below the eagle on the reverse side. However, quarters produced in Philadelphia have no mint mark at all, and that's where things get interesting. So, what makes the 1977 quarter without a mint mark special? Well, while it's common for Philadelphia minted coins to lack a mint mark, finding one in pristine or even good circulated condition has become increasingly rare over time. Many of these coins have been worn down, damaged, or lost over the decades, which has made high-quality specimens especially desirable among collectors. A key factor in determining the value of these quarters is their condition. A coin that's been in circulation for nearly 50 years can have a range of wear and tear, from light scratches and dings to being nearly worn smooth. Yet even in circulated condition, some of these quarters can be worth significantly more than their face value, especially if they're well preserved. Alright, let's get down to how you can identify this potentially valuable quarter. First, take a close look at the front of the coin. If the date reads 1977, you're on the right track. Now, flip the coin over and look below the eagle on the reverse side. If there's no mint mark, congratulations. You found yourself a Philadelphia minted Washington quarter. But keep in mind, just because it's from Philadelphia doesn't mean it's automatically worth a lot. Condition plays a huge role. Coin grading is the process used to determine a coin's overall condition, ranging from poor to mint state. For circulated 1977 quarters, most fall between good and extremely fine. The better the condition, the more value it holds. Here's an example: a 1977 quarter in good condition may only be worth a little over face value, but in extremely fine condition, or better, the value can jump significantly. This is where collectors really start to take notice. How much is a 1977 Washington quarter without a mint mark worth today? As of 2024, the value of a circulated 1977 Washington quarter without a mint mark can range from around $450,000, depending on its condition. Some collectors choose to sell while the market is strong, especially if they have a coin in great condition. Others prefer to hold onto their rare coins, hoping the value will increase over time. The choice is yours, but keep in mind, coin values fluctuate with the market, and rarity combined with condition will always drive the price. So, where can you find these 1977 Washington quarters? You might be surprised many of them are still out there in circulation today. Check your spare change, ask for rolls of quarters from your local bank, or visit flea markets and garage sales. You never know where one might turn up. Also, don't forget about coin dealers, online auctions, and coin shows. If you're serious about finding a high-quality 1977 quarter, these are great places to start your search. So, there you have it, the 1977 Washington quarter without a mint mark. While it might not be the rarest coin out there, in the right condition, it can still bring you a decent return on investment. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just curious about the coins in your pocket, it's worth keeping an eye out for these hidden gems. Remember, coin collecting is as much about the joy of the hunt as it is about the value. So have fun, stay curious, and who knows, you might just strike silver. Next up, the 1978 Washington quarter. But this isn't just any quarter. We're going to dive into why some 1978 quarters without a mint mark could be worth far more than their face value in today's market. So, if you've got some old change lying around, you might want to double-check it after this video. Before we get into the value and what makes this quarter so special, let's take a quick look at the basics. The Washington quarter, introduced in 1932, was originally minted to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The 1978 version of this quarter is no different in design from others of its era, but there's something about these specific coins that's generating buzz. Now, one thing to keep in mind: starting in 1965, quarters stopped being made of silver and were instead struck from a copper-nickel-clad composition. By 1978, all quarters were expected to follow this trend. However, rumors of silver quarters from this year without a mint mark occasionally surface, leading some collectors to wonder if they've struck it rich. So, is there really a silver Washington quarter from 1978? And if so, what's its value today? Most 1978 Washington quarters, like the one you're seeing here, are made of a copper core with a nickel cladding. But, as with many coins, errors and anomalies can exist, and that's where things get interesting. Let's start with the basics. If you have a 1978 quarter without a mint mark, meaning it was minted in Philadelphia and it's in circulated condition, its value as of today is generally just its face value, $50,000, depending on condition. However, if you happen to have a high-grade uncirculated quarter, you might be looking at $300,000 or even more, depending on the coin's grade. So, while the average circulated 1978 quarter without a mint mark isn't going to make you rich, there are exceptions. Let's talk about those next. Now, onto the rare finds that have collectors buzzing. Though not officially recorded, there have been reports and rumors of 1978 Washington quarters being struck on leftover silver planchets, which would be a mistake by the US Mint. These error coins, if authenticated, could be worth significantly more. So how do you know if your 1978 quarter is silver? One way to tell is by checking the edge of the coin. A typical copper-nickel quarter will show the distinctive copper layer when you look at its edge, whereas a silver coin will not have that layer. Another way is to listen to the sound. Silver coins have a different ring when tapped compared to their copper-nickel counterparts. If you do happen to have a silver 1978 quarter, its value could be substantial. In fact, error coins like these can fetch hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars at auction, depending on their condition and the buyer's demand. So, what should you be looking for in your 1978 Washington quarters? First, check if your quarter has a mint mark. If there's no mint mark, it was minted in Philadelphia. Most of these are standard issues, but always keep an eye out for signs of errors, unusual toning, or even silver content. Next, examine the coin for signs of wear. The more worn it is, the lower its value, but even circulated coins can have rare features that make them stand out. Now, let's talk market value. Right now, in 2024, the value of 1978 Washington quarters largely depends on condition. A circulated quarter without a mint mark typically sells for face value unless it's in exceptional condition or features a notable error. However, high-grade examples in mint state condition can sell for upwards of $600,000 or more, and rare error coins, especially those struck on silver planchets, can reach well over $900,000 at auction. It's important to note that coin values can fluctuate with market demand, so if you're looking to sell your rare quarter, timing and knowing your audience can make a big difference. If you're a coin collector, there are a few key tips to keep in mind when hunting for rare Washington quarters. First, always handle your coins with care to avoid further wear or damage, which can reduce their value. Secondly, invest in proper storage to keep them in good condition over time. And lastly, always do your research, stay up to date with coin auctions and grading services to make sure you're maximizing the value of your collection. So, there you have it. While the 1978 Washington quarter without a mint mark in circulation condition might not make you a fortune, there's always a chance you could come across a rare error coin that's worth a small fortune. Have you checked your pocket change recently? You might be sitting on a hidden treasure. Next up, the Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. currency since it was first introduced in 1932, commemorating the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Over the decades, it's become an iconic piece of American history, but not all quarters are created equal. Today, we're focusing on one specific year that has captured the attention of collectors worldwide, the 1983 quarter, with the P Mint mark from the Philadelphia Mint. So why is the 1983 Washington quarter so special? Well, back in the early 80s, the US was going through some interesting economic times. The US Mint produced millions of quarters in 1983, but here's the kicker: there were no official mint sets or uncirculated sets released that year. Normally, collectors can find pristine examples of coins from those special sets, but for 1983, that wasn't an option. As a result, finding high-quality, uncirculated 1983 Washington quarters is much harder than you might think. Most of the quarters from that year were put into circulation, meaning they were used in everyday transactions, which leads to wear and tear. This makes well-preserved examples, especially those in very good condition or higher, extremely rare today. Now, let's talk about the money. The value of the 1983 Washington quarter with the P Mint mark can vary widely depending on its condition. Heavily circulated coins, you might only get face value at $90,000, but if you've got one in very good condition or better, the value jumps up significantly. In very fine condition, these coins can fetch anywhere from $600,000, but that's just the beginning. If you have an uncirculated or mint state quarter, you could be looking at values between $780,000 or even higher. There have been instances where collectors have paid several $100s for near-perfect examples of this coin. The mint mark, you want to see that P mark just above the date on the front of the coin. Condition: look for coins with minimal wear. Pay special attention to Washington's hair and the details of the eagle on the back. The clearer and more defined these features are, the better. Now, let's clear up a common misconception. Some people think the 1983 Washington quarter might be made of silver because of its high value today. Unfortunately, that's not the case. By 1983, the US Mint had already switched from silver to a copper-nickel composition for quarters back in 1965. So, while it's a valuable coin, it's not because it's made of silver. So, why is the 1983 Washington quarter with the P Mint mark so beloved by collectors? It's not just about its scarcity, it's about the thrill of the hunt. Finding a well-preserved example of this coin feels like unearthing a piece of history, and for coin collectors, that's what it's all about. The 1983 P quarter stands as a reminder that even modern coins can become rare treasures. That wraps up our deep dive into the 1983 Washington quarter with the P mint mark. If you've got one of these in your collection, you might just be sitting on a valuable piece of history. So, go check your coin jars, old wallets, and collections. You never know what treasure you might find. Next up, the 1987 Washington quarter with a P mint mark. If you think you might have one of these rare beauties in your pocket change, stick around because you won't want to miss this. First, let's set the stage by talking about the Washington quarter itself. This iconic coin was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It has gone through various design changes over the decades, but the coin you see today is part of the 1980s series, which is particularly interesting for collectors. Now, focusing on the 1987 quarter, it features the classic designs of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. What makes this year special, especially the one with the P mint mark, is its rarity and condition. The Philadelphia Mint produced a significant number of these quarters, but the key is to find them in very good condition. So, what do we mean by very good condition? A quarter in very good condition will have clear, well-defined features with minimal wear on the surfaces. You'll want to look for a strong strike and clear details on both the portrait of Washington and the eagle. Coins that have survived in such conditions are quite rare, making them highly sought after by collectors. Now, let's talk about the big question: what's it worth? The 1987 Washington quarter with a P mint mark, when found in very good condition, can fetch anywhere from $100,000 depending on where you sell it. However, if you have one in mint state, meaning it looks as if it just came from the mint, you could see values skyrocket to $200,000 or more. For those in pristine condition, values can even go higher, reaching upwards of $300,000. This makes it a great piece for any collection. To determine the value of your coin, you can use the Sheldon coin grading scale. Here's how it works. Coins are graded from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. For our 1987 quarter, if it's rated between 10 to 20, it falls into the very good category. But to get a more accurate assessment, you can also use a magnifying glass to examine any wear or scratches. If you find you do have one of these rare quarters, you might be wondering where to sell it. There are several options: local coin shops, online marketplaces like eBay, or even coin shows and auctions. Each has its pros and cons, so consider your options carefully to get the best price. Before we wrap up, here are some tips for collectors. Always store your coins in protective holders to maintain their condition. Educate yourself about the market trends and connect with other collectors online to exchange knowledge and maybe even trade. Remember, the more you know, the better equipped you'll be to build a valuable collection. To sum it all up, the 1987 Washington quarter with a P mint mark is not just another coin in circulation, it's a potential treasure waiting to be discovered. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, keep an eye out for these quarters. They could be worth more than you think. Next up, the 1994 Washington quarter dollar with a P mint mark. If you're a coin enthusiast or just curious about what makes this quarter so special, stick around as we explore its history, rarity, and current market value. First, let's take a closer look at the 1994 Washington quarter. This coin features the iconic design of George Washington on the obverse, created by John Flanagan. The reverse showcases the familiar eagle perched on a branch, symbolizing strength and freedom. The 1994 quarters were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but today we're focusing on the Philadelphia Mint, denoted by the P mint mark. This specific coin has become increasingly sought after due to its condition and the fact that it's composed of 90% silver. Now, when we talk about coin condition, we're using a grading scale that ranges from poor to mint state. In this case, we're examining the 1994 Washington quarter in extra fine condition. But what exactly does extra fine mean? Extra fine, or EF, indicates that the coin has been circulated but remains in excellent condition. The details of the design are sharp, and while there might be minor wear, the overall appearance is still striking. Collectors highly value coins in this condition due to their aesthetic appeal and collectability. One of the most critical factors contributing to a coin's value is its rarity. The 1994 Washington quarter is not considered extremely rare, however. The combination of the P mint mark and its extra fine condition creates a unique niche in the market. However, high-quality examples, especially those that are well preserved and graded as extra fine or better, are less common. As more collectors seek these coins, the demand continues to rise. So how much is a 1994 Washington quarter with a P mint mark in extra fine condition worth today? Market values can fluctuate based on demand, condition, and market trends. Currently, you can expect to find these quarters selling anywhere from $390,000 depending on the specific characteristics of the coin. Interestingly, prices for these coins have seen an increase in the past few years as more people turn to numismatics as a hobby and investment. If you own one of these quarters, it might be a good time to assess its value. If you're looking to buy or sell a 1994 Washington quarter, there are several avenues you can explore. Local coin shops, online marketplaces like eBay, and coin shows are all great places to start. Just make sure to do your research and verify the credibility of the seller. Also, remember to look for reputable grading services. Having your coin professionally graded can significantly enhance its value and appeal to potential buyers. In conclusion, the 1994 Washington quarter dollar with a P mint mark in extra fine condition is more than just pocket change, it's a piece of history and a valuable collectible. Whether you're an experienced collector or just starting, understanding the value and significance of this coin can enhance your numismatic journey. Next up, the Washington quarter dollar with a D mint mark. If you've got one of these in your collection, you might want to stick around because we're about to reveal why it's a coin of significant value today. Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. This classic design features a profile of Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, symbolizing freedom and independence. Over the decades, the design has seen several variations, but the essence remains the same. Fast forward to 1990, and you'll find the D mint mark indicating it was produced in the Denver Mint. The 1990 quarter is part of the Washington quarter series and is made primarily of copper and nickel, with a silver content of 0.0%. While it might not be silver like its predecessors, it holds a unique place in the numismatic world. When it comes to coin collecting, condition is everything. The 1990 Washington quarter can range from good to mint state, but today we're focusing on the extra fine condition. In extra fine condition, you can expect the coin to show minimal wear with clear details and a well-defined design. But now, let's talk about value. While many 1990 Washington quarters can be found for face value, those in extra fine condition, particularly with the D mint mark, can fetch significantly more. In today's market, you might see these coins valued between $675,000 depending on their exact condition and demand. The rarity of a coin can greatly influence its value. For the 1990 Washington quarter, while it isn't the rarest coin out there, its condition and mint mark can make it a sought-after piece for collectors. As collectors seek to complete their sets, the demand for higher quality coins remains strong. Wrap it up, the 1990 Washington quarter with a D mint mark, especially in extra fine condition, is a gem in the world of coin collecting. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or simply admire, this quarter is a fascinating piece of American history. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more insights into the world of coin collecting. Leave a comment below if you have a 1990 quarter or any stories to share about your collection.